So I've been in this relationship for about 7 months now. It's a lovely relationship. Everything has been going well, but I'm starting to get worried. The guy that I'm dating does everything a man is expected to do. He takes me out, he buys me gifts, and he takes care of almost everything. I, on the other hand, have not been doing much. And he recently stressed it out a little when we had a conversation about our past relationships and what we liked about them. He said he is used to a type of relationship where it's a give and take and not just a giving from one side. The person that he was in a relationship with the last time used to spoil him as much as he spoiled her. I don't come from that environment. What I'm used to is that a man provides and I on the other side ngiyabegezela nje, here and there, but this one of spending my own money, I'm not used to. My money is really just my money and to safeguard my family back home. I'm not worried because he keeps on bringing up this topic now and again, stating that it would be nice for him to be taken up by me for a change. Please help me out. Is it normal for us women to spend our money on men, or am I selling out the team?
Oh, Jesus Christ. My answer to this girl is that she should break up with this guy. And the reason she should do that is literally just to spare herself a lot of pain in the future when the guy gets fed up and suddenly the gravy train ends for her. Because remember, she's been enjoying all of this stuff and not doing much according to her own admission. The guy is eventually going to hit a limit where he's like, you know what, this girl A doesn't appreciate me. She doesn't even make an effort to spare her labor and her hard work and dedicate it towards me. And the guy's going to get fed up and he's just going to drop her. And then that's going to suck for her because it's going to happen so fast, she's not even going to see it when it's happening. Two, the guy might start cheating. Hopefully he's not that type of guy. He can just be straight up and just walk away.
Before that, let's just step back a bit and just speak about the dynamics of just the relationship. What's going on here?
It's a very simple thing. There's a guy who's spending money on a girl. His expectation of relationship is that we do a give and take. Now, that give and take doesn't mean 50-50. This is where women get things like so wrong a lot of the time. When a guy says, please do something for me, he's not saying, please do the exact same thing that I do. That wouldn't work. He's not looking for a guy who's going to do things that a guy would do for a girl to him. He's not looking for that. What he's actually looking for is to see, are you invested in the relationship?
But okay,
Because
step
remember,
back. What is investing in the relationship?
investing in the relationship comes in different forms. But one of the key areas of investment in a relationship is not money. It's what money represents. When you get money, you are basically working and putting yourself into something and getting money back, right? So the fact that you're willing to take a portion of yourself, your labor, your hard work, and pour it back into the relationship is a good sign. Even if it's only 10% of the overall financial value that happened in the relationship. If a guy spends, let's say 90 rands, you spend 10 rands. That's a good thing. That's a good ratio. Or if the guy spends 80 rands, you spend 20 rands. That's a good ratio. The moment you say there's certain parts of me that are closed off, so my finances are closed off, they're mine and for people back home, that's already out. You can't build a relationship with that person. Because it means if something ever happens to me and we're in financial trouble, you're out of that relationship. That's what that actually means. Because then if you're not pouring yourself now, how will you pour yourself into the future if something does go wrong? Even if I have made preparations for things go wrong, maybe those preparations take 2 months to kick in. What are you doing during those 2 months? You're just like throwing your hands up, waiting for something.
I don't necessarily think it's that sort of like you're on your own financially sort of thing that she's trying to get at here. I think more her stance is like, I'm in this relationship. It's a good relationship. We're both working. Things are fine. I have my money. That he has his money. As a woman, he like lavishes the nice things on me. But am I expected to actually match that energy on palm? I don't necessarily think that she's saying she actually doesn't do anything at all. Because I don't
She
think
literally just said, I don't do much. Those were her words. So she acknowledged it.
financially.
Here's the thing. Guys don't think in an overall term. They think in compartments. You can do very little financially while doing very much in other areas. It still means there's something short because the ratios will be different in different areas. And I'll give an example, like a very, very stereotypical and maybe sexist example, but here it is. I might do 90% financially and you do 90% in terms of home chores. The 90% that you do in home chores and the 90% that I do financially are equivalents if you and I have agreed that is the case, all right? If he's looking to build something that's actually genuine and serious where we care about each other, each of us has to invest. So you might find she's slacking off in a lot of other areas which is what's making the guy really, 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 really start pointing out the financial area. Because there's no better area to quickly compensate in if you're failing in other areas than finance, right? If you're going to fail in other areas, at least then catch up on a financial term. The guy is noticing because he's not getting any value from the relationship that feels equitable to the financial pouring in that he's doing. So he's pouring in a lot of financial resources, but in all other areas and even financially, there's nothing coming from the girl. She's really just enjoying herself, getting all this pampering, etc., and is not even thinking, what can I do for this guy? And if she thinks bedroom stuff is what's doing something for a guy, then she's completely out the woodwork. High quality guys are not short of bedroom activity. That's not what they're looking for in a relationship. That is not what holds value for a high quality guy, because that's easy to get. He's looking for something that's more than just a person who says, well, because I do house chores and I take you to the bedroom, then it's okay. You spend all your cash.
I can understand what the guy is saying, and from a place of him speaking about his feelings and how he is seeing the relationship roll out. I can understand why he says she needs to be a lot more proactive when it comes to going out. But I think maybe there could be a little bit more clarity in terms of them communicating with each other. I don't think this is like a situation of you don't take me out, I would like for you to take me out. I think the guy is seeing here a lack of enthusiasm, a lack of zeal, and a lack of proactivity when it comes to like making the relationship alive. Yeah. Let's get both creative with how to interact with each other and to bring like new energy into the relationship, and not be me thinking always of, oh, we could go here, or if you want to go there. Like, can it be a thing of you also come up with ideas that are possibly planned by you, and you invest something in those ideas that I now just get to sit there and be a passenger gentleman, like how we get passenger princesses, and just have you take care of the things that need to be heavy lifted in this experience that we're both sharing as a relationship experience. I think that's what he wants. But how he is expressing it kind of lands, but it lands on a superficial level. Definitely. I feel like you're not matching my energy on like a very like superficial way. His love language could be sharing experiences with the person, and that's something that he holds as something that shows him love. So from that perspective, he has not really sensitized the lady to how much this means to him, maybe. So that they get out of that tit for tat, sort of 50-50 of financial investment. It's not about the finances. It looks at it like it from the top when you look, but when you go deeper, it's understanding the guy on a deeper level, so that he feels like how he needs to be loved is well understood by the other person. And I don't think he can articulate it, because I don't think he even has the language for it.
No, I definitely agree with you on that. Generally, finance isn't actually about finance. It's about something that goes a lot deeper. And then there's a part there that she says that's actually very, very scary to me as a guy, where she says, my job is begezele. What are you enduring? Are you enduring that, okay, fine, I'll provide for you, but I now have the right to break your hearts continuously by gallivanting with other people? Or what exactly she's saying she's enduring?
I think it's that frame of and I actually noted that as a point for us to discuss, the thing of using a very old lens of looking at relationship roles in modern relationships, in a time and place where those sort of relationships that are really demarcated with roles are not so easily manageable. Back in the day, we knew the role of a father in the household. Provider, you get the fish, come back with it, mother cooks it, and that's the relationship. Functional. There is a lot of just dry technical stuff that happens there. And I think in her upbringing, in her environment where she learned what love is, that's what the fact was. And she's using that same sort of lens to be in the relationship that she's in now. And she thinks that's what relationships are about.
Hence, she has to break up with him then.
Well, that could be a thing, but I'm speaking here on a deeper level of her understanding of how to relationship between a man and a woman is skewed by old ideas of what a relationship should be. And she hasn't given herself a chance to actually look at a different way as to how a romantic relationship between a man and a woman can be different, other than provider and sort of like a house nurturer sort of vibe of a woman who can now just tolerate the things that the provider husband does on the side, because the husband is known to go and quote unquote shake his cake somewhere else with other people, and then the woman now has to endure that sense of hardship every now and again, because the provider does provide, and he still has that sense of I'm taking care of you, but you also have to stand my bullshit when I go out and do other things with other
Jesus
people.
Christ. You know how toxic that is.
But
But
that's
I
but
understand.
that's the
Yeah,
lens
but
through
that's
which
like so
a lot of people
toxic.
still see relationships, and they haven't opened themselves up to seeing a different way of
Yeah,
of
yeah.
of of, of saying, okay, what do I truly believe is love? What do I truly believe is a relationship? How do I want to be in a relationship? And how do I expect my person that I'm in a relationship with to be like to me, without the things that I saw other people do, other people tell me about love, and things that I've just copied and pasted from things that I've seen around me and seen people on TV do and say love is? What do I authentically think a relationship should be, and how should it actually function for myself,
Yeah,
without
yeah.
those things that have been fed in my head by other people?
That's a tough question for most people. In fact, for all of us, once we ask ourselves that question, the answers are quite interesting. But I think to get to the point of asking the question is very, very difficult. And then there's the last part there that's also very scary to a
Which
guy,
one?
where she says, am I costing the team?
What does that mean to you?
Dude, the fact that you're seeing an us versus them is already just like, get out of that relationship. You're not ready for a relationship. The fact that you think there's a man versus woman dynamic in a relationship between two people, that is scary. Because it means your relationship isn't just between you and the guy, it's you and the people that you're consulting with. Which, like, if you're gonna have a relationship based on your consultations with other people, you are in a very dangerous and scary place. The fact that you think, oh, he's from another team, so there's a victory thing. Dude, that's a
So I must
relationship.
come in, cash in
Yeah,
as
cash
best
in
as I
and
can.
yeah, so the team wins because their team is gonna lose if I'm able to cash in. That's just really sad. And I've heard guys even speak like that, and I'm always like, oh, that's so sad. Like you're a person who's actually never gonna know genuine love and closeness and connection with the person because everything is looking at the other person through the lens of, oh yeah, I remember they're a girl, so they're an enemy. I must extract value and make sure that us as guys we end up on top.
Relationships actually require you to be proactive, regardless of male or female. If you are going to be in a relationship and want to make it work and actually be in a relationship that's healthy, you're gonna have to put in work. And it's not a work where you calculate how much you've done and then you look at that versus what that
Yeah,
partner has
yeah,
done. If you're
yeah,
gonna use that lens, you are going to be in trouble, because you are always going to be comparing, and you're going
yeah.
to now foster a competitive spirit that is very unhealthy. Competition is good in any sort of a relationship, which is maybe fun competition, but when it comes to I did this so you could do that, and or you do this because I did that, you are in territory where things will fizzle out and end in a very unhealthy way,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
you are no longer, I don't want to say partnership, but you are no longer cooperating with each
yeah,
other
yeah,
on a
yeah,
level where
yeah.
things can work. The second thing is just that sense of relooking your definition of love and understanding the importance of understanding what your partner thinks is love for them, and understanding where that sort of lens which they see love comes from within themselves, in a manner where you get to understand the person on a deeper level as to why they think that a certain activity shows them love. It fosters some sort of depth in terms of knowing the person in the relationship, so that you know why you do things the way that they want you to do them when it comes to showing them love.
There's
Okay, so
only
you are in the
yeah.
situation. What are you doing as the guy?
As the guy with this particular girl who has this particular attitude, oh dude, we broke up a long time ago.
I actually commend him for actually bringing it up and being so like a bit honest, because that takes a lot of being invested in actually liking the person to a certain extent, to actually say what you're saying, as like,
Yeah,
previously in this relationship this is what happened,
yeah.
and this is what I would like for us to do.
I do agree with you in terms of commending him for being upfront and saying what he wants and what he needs. I think that is something that people should do, men and women. But there's certain things where you just have to really just observe the person, see who they are, and then just say, oh yeah, this isn't for me.
But But that's not giving them a fair chance to
There's
actually maybe try to sort something
there are
out.
things where you can say, this is what I want, because the person meets a certain foundation of what you do want and what you do need. Then there are things where it's a quality in them, or it's a lack of a quality in them, that just completely shatters anything at the foundational level of you being together. And I'll give an example. So let's say you meet a guy at the foundational core level, very tribal. He hates other people, and he has a very like narrow view of his religious beliefs, and other people are just completely just off to him. Knowing you at the core foundation, you most likely wouldn't stick with that
Yeah,
guy,
yeah.
because foundationally there's really nothing there for you to work with, because you're not going to change that about him.
Yeah, yeah.
Even if he wanted to change, it's rather you just not bring that up and let it go and say, oh yeah, you're just not my type, and then just walk away. Then there are things that like you're compatible at the core. And then above that, there are things that you can say to a person, oh yeah, that I don't like it this way, or this I don't like that way. And then yeah, the person can work on that. But if at their core you're incompatible, then there's no point actually even in dealing with that. For in my case, with that girl, me and that girl are completely incompatible. Not because of the finance. I don't mind spending money on my girl. In fact, my belief is that as a guy, you actually take 90% or even 100% of the responsibility in most of the cases when it comes to finances. Where I culturally have a massive difference with this girl is in tit for tat love. So the moment I notice someone has a tit for tat attitude to love, they're just not my people. They're not part of what I am, because they live in a world of tit for tat, and
Yeah,
I
but
don't live in a tit for
that's a
tat world.
difficult one because like it's like growing up, environment, society,
That's
everything
okay.
tells you
Yeah,
that.
yeah, go be there with your people. Well, tit for
And
tat.
also just like human nature says, if you do this, I do this. It's like a fair trade sort of
It's
thing.
okay. Go be with your people who are like that. Just not me, because I'm not like that. I will do things not because I just want to, but because I want them for you. It gives me pleasure to see you happy, enjoying life, carefree without a worry financially. It gives me pleasure. That's who I am. I'm not busy walking around measuring, this is what I did, so you must do this, because that's not the world I come from. So when I look for a girl, I'm looking for a girl who's exactly the same way. Not someone who's going to cook me dinner and then the following day bring that up that, hey, I cooked you dinner, so now it's time for you to do this.
There's
No, I'm
good
not
dinner for
looking for
me
that.
today.
Because guess what? I don't want to bring up that last month I paid all your bills, now it's time for you to do this. Because that's not why I pay your bills. I do it because I love you and I'm glad to see you just be calm and relaxed. So tit for tat can go be tit for tat on their own. Those of us who are on this team of just we do things because we love our person, let's all come together and go our own direction.
Okay.
So that's why I break up with her, because at the core we are completely different people in terms of our philosophy and thinking when it comes to relationship and love. Not just because of money. Money, why would you break up with someone because of money? Money is an easy thing to fix. What you can't fix is how the person thinks about money. That you can't fix.
That's
You
a
know?
good point. If I was the girl and I was hearing this from my boyfriend, I'd be concerned. And the fact that she's written to a public platform to ask for help is also just like, you actually don't understand what's going on here.
I need just to say something. I need to one of the biggest challenges in doing a relationship by consensus, by public consensus. You cannot do a relationship by public consensus. There are too many people that are broken, bitter, and angry, men and women. So if you go out there and scream publicly, guys, here's my thing. The only people that are gonna, most of the time, the people that are gonna come out the woodwork
And
at the
say
forest
something.
are the angry, bitter people,
Yeah.
not the positive people.
Yeah, and the fact that also you look to public opinion to make personal
Yeah,
decisions.
and not your own guy or your own girl.
Or
That's scary to me.
or just like your own self. Like, of course, it doesn't take away from the fact that we do need like external eyes to see things from a different
Yeah, of course.
perspective.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
still,
I think she's also looking for girls to tell her that no,
no, like,
yeah,
almost
yeah,
a city.
yeah, you're doing right, because she wants to have somebody condone her thinking, and that's why the guy should break up with her, or that's why she should break up with the guy.
What would I do in this situation? Since I would be the girl and think that this is all okay and it's normal, I guess I would move on and find somebody who's going to match my energy.
Exactly. That's how simple it is. She needs to find a guy who's a tit for tat type of person, who then makes the deal with her that, listen, I will take care of all the bills, all the da da da. I'll do everything in relationship. Here's what I need you to do. This is what you give in return for my expenditure, whatever, whatever. And then they're both happy.